We have a huge update for seniors and those on Social Security as talks of a $1,200 increase for 2026 have recently started in Congress. The Senate quickly passed a bill to release the Epstein files, and House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries is in trouble as his name popped up. We've got a lot to discuss, but before that, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the Civic Trigger. A shocking Social Security update for 2026 states that Medicare Part B, which covers outpatient care, doctor services, and other things, will be $202.90 in 2026. That's almost a 10% increase compared to this year. This is the second largest dollar jump in program history, and it's causing a lot of concern given that the COLA increase for next year is estimated at just 2.8% or $56 on average. If we include the expense for Medicare Part B, this leaves many on Social Security with an average monthly COLA increase of just around $38. Now, while this is alarming news, there is something that many are looking forward to. Just some weeks ago, Senator Elizabeth Warren introduced the Social Security Emergency Inflation Relief Act. Now, it sounds good, right? According to the text, it aims to provide a monthly $200 recovery payment to recipients of Social Security, Supplemental Security Income, Railroad Retirement Benefits, and Veterans Disability Compensation or Pension Benefits, which means that millions of Americans can possibly receive a $1,200 increase in 2026 since the program is expected to end by July next year. Now, the Senate has already referred this bill to the Committee on Finance, so we're gonna have to wait and see just how far it'll go. But if you asked me, those on Social Security are owed a lot of money, and if we can send money to other countries around the world, I'm talking billions of dollars, shouldn't we start with our seniors and Social Security recipients? Speaking of which, I have another bill that's focused on providing relief for millions of Americans on Social Security. It's a change that I've supported since I started this channel. It's called the Boosting Benefits and COLAs for Seniors Act. It says here, currently, the annual COLA increase is determined using the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers. That's the CPIW. The issue being raised is that the CPIW measures the spending habits of a vastly younger group who are still in the workforce. As a result, the COLA increase ends up falling short in addressing the rising costs faced by seniors. The idea is to change the COLA increase and base it on the CPI for the elderly instead. I support this idea. That's because it's reflective of costs held by seniors. The CPIE tracks the spending habits of American seniors aged 62 and older, which also happens to be the age range for Social Security recipients. Now, I want to hear your thoughts on this one because I know that this is a very important topic, so let me know in the comments. Moving on, our government seems to be fixated on the Epstein files more than Social Security. That's because the Senate recently passed a bill that aims to release it. That is, if President Trump signs it.
Didn't even know if the Senate was going to take up the Epstein files bill. What is playing out right now?
Yeah, just a couple weeks ago, it seemed like this bill was dead on arrival. Just a few days ago, it seemed like it was dead on arrival in the United States Senate. But now it is on its way to the president's desk in a remarkable turnaround in an extremely fast move here. The Senate has essentially green-lighted this bill to be approved as soon as tonight and be sent to the president's desk.
Now, I'm hoping that by the time I share this video, this bill is already signed by President Trump, but there is something that's raising a lot of red flags. It's been found out that the House Minority Leader, Hakeem Jeffries, tried to solicit money from Jeffrey Epstein. That and how one of their own was caught texting with Epstein during a hearing.
Tonight, a Republican effort to punish a Democratic colleague over her contact with Jeffrey Epstein failed inside of the House. That's because moments ago, lawmakers rejected a resolution to censure Democratic delegate Stacey Plaskett. She represents the Virgin Islands, for texting with Jeffrey Epstein during a 2019 hearing that featured Donald Trump's former fixer, Michael Cohen. These were texts that were among the 20,000 pages of documents the House released last week, and they show that Epstein texted Stacey Plaskett saying, quote, Cohen brought up Rona, keeper of the secrets, referring to Trump's longtime assistant, Rona Graff. Plaskett responded, quote, Rona, and then asked, quick, I'm up next. Is that an acronym? Epstein replied, that's his assistant. A few minutes later, Plaskett asked this.
Is Ms. Rona, what is Ms. Rona's position?
Rona Graff is Mr. Trump's executive assistant.
And would she be able to corroborate many of the statements that you've made here?
Yes, her office is directly next to his, and she's involved in a lot that went on.
Of course, Democrats are defending their own. They're saying this wasn't illegal, and it wasn't. But here's the thing. The optics do not look great for Democrats. And then there's Hakeem Jeffries. Here he is answering a question of whether he tried to solicit money from Jeffrey Epstein.
They say it shows you were soliciting money and dinner from an Epstein. The email was not sent from you. It was sent from a political consulting firm called Dynamic SRG that says, "We are thrilled to announce we are working with Congressman Hakeem Jeffries. Shoot us an email or give us a call if you would like to get involved." What's your response? Do you recall that email being sent to Jeffrey Epstein from that team?
Yeah, of course, I have no recollection of the email. I've never had a conversation with him, never met him, know nothing about him other than the extreme things that he's been convicted of doing. And that's why, I'm just strongly supportive of the effort, backing the survivors to make sure that everything can come out, whatever is in those Department of Justice files.
So you never got a donation from Jeffrey Epstein or anything like that?
Certainly not.
What are your thoughts on this? On the one hand, we have politicians that are super fixated on a list, while on the other, we have seniors on Social Security and millions of other Americans that are struggling. I want to know how you feel about all of that. Before I go, make sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the Civic Trigger. I'll talk to you in the next one.